I hope you have my audio. Thank you so much. It was a technical problem. Sorry. Uh, Good evening. This is Amir Lahijy, live from Los Angeles. And today I'd like to continue our talk about respect. Yes. Today I'd like to talk to Dr. Foojan Zein. She is clinical psychologist and licensed marriage family therapist from Los Angeles. And she is here. Hello and welcome.
Hello, it's nice to be with you again. Just want to do a minor correction. I'm a clinical psychotherapist. I think clinical
Okay.
psychologist has its own licensing. My license is marriage and family therapist. So for everyone who really is interested in all of those details, just wanted to clarify those details.
Thank you so much to, correct me. Dr. Zain, today I'd like to continue, my interviews with, specialists about respect. What's the definition of respect?
It has many definitions depending on where it is being utilized. Respect, more than anything, is looking at another human being and seeing them as valuable, seeing them as honorable, and having the respect means also to be interested in their thoughts, their opinions, their emotions, and see them in the light that they matter actually to us. So in the way that I'm talking a little bit more contextually.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most of the time when we talk about respect, we focus on the communication terms of respect, so that we don't use profanity, we don't belittle them, and we talk to them in a format that we're utilizing the words that are respectful. I'm suggesting that we could do that, but if internally we're not respecting them, if we're looking at them from top to bottom, or not holding them in an honorable place, not accept them as a human being, if that is not part of who we are, it doesn't matter how beautiful we formulate these sentences together, the person will not feel respect as we're communicating to them.
Okay. Uh, I like to mention respect is different with politeness. Could you please tell more about what's the difference? Because people sometimes confuse with all of this.
Of course. Politeness is the conversation that you actually have that is, let's say, like politically correct, that you utilize the words to say something which is socially acceptable, and that you don't want to hurt someone, so you would use the words in a way that is not hurtful. That's just being polite. It's socially acceptable concept. Respect is a little bit more than just being polite.
Mhm.
Respect is also uh, giving the person value, not just wanting them, not just wanting not to put them by your words, but is giving them a value system. So, for example, if you bring that into a relationship with work, somebody's at work, right? Um, Understanding that they have the value and you have value, understanding that what they say is important. So standing there listening to their views is important. Taking their views face value and giving it, hearing it, being curious about what they say, integrating what they say into your conversation is giving them a respect as being a human being, which matters to you. That is having a respect. You could talk to your colleagues in a very polite manner, but be more like dismissive. Like, yes, I heard what you said, and thank you for your opinion, and then you move on. And the person, you were polite in what you said, but internally you weren't really respecting that person. So there's a difference between holding someone in a place that they matter to you and acting the way for that person as they matter to you, versus just giving them a verbal, um, act. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes. I'm thinking about when I'm not agree with someone, but most of people they said, okay, I respect you. How? What's the best response to someone when you are not agree with that person, but still you want to be polite and respectful? Which way is the best, and which way is the correct and better way?
Sure. When you hear somebody else's opinion, if you are in a vicinity of somebody giving their opinion to you, um, if you come from a place that every single human being on the face of the earth will have an opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are open to actually hearing another person's opinion, that you might grow. So you give it value in a space where I'm going to learn something, and I'm really curious to know what this person who's not me thinks. So then you open your ears in that conversation and you really take in their point of view. How come they have that point of view? Where did they get this point of view? Um, is it a cultural thing for them? Is it that they experience it themselves? What is the background of that point of view? And you ask curiously, like, I really wonder, tell me about what it is you think. And you know that you don't agree at all. So after that, you will say, well, I can hear you stating these and I know where it's coming from. And on some of these issues, some of these matters, I could see your point, and in some of them, I might even agree. On these other items, I have a difference of opinion from you. And would you like to hear mine? If the person says yes, great, you share yours. If the person says no, and they're very righteous about their opinion, then you say, I hear you and I respect your opinion, and I got it. And I got it that I just want you to know that I have other opinions about this matter. And then you leave it at that. There might be some opinions that you can't respect, like you can't really take on, right?
Yeah,
Like it's not,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. For example, like some religion opinion.
it could be a religion opinion or it could be it's a harmful, like, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
want to, my opinion is that, so and so should go kill such and such. Or
No,
my
it's
opinion.
about yeah, using drug, using lots of things people they do, but they believe it's okay, or there's some illegal things they do it, and their opinion for them is okay, but yeah, exactly, for this type of opinion.
Right, and that you may not say, I respect your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but you can say, I respect you, and I'm really curious to know how you came up with that opinion, and I differ in that opinion. So you don't have to lie and say, it's like a blanket statement that you're being polite and telling everybody, oh, I respect your opinion. You
Mm-hmm.
might not. You might really not respect somebody's opinion about child abuse or killing someone
Yeah,
or uh,
exactly.
harming themselves or any
Right.
other human being. But you can always say, as a human being, I think, I'm really curious to know what brought you to to have that opinion, because everybody has opinions based on something. And as
Right.
they share it, you're like, okay, I got it. I got where you would, have that such an opinion. But I have completely different opinion than you. But thank you for sharing yours, and thank you for letting me know, what your opinion is. Because to me, even that exchange of allowing someone to give their opinion is a respectful act, is giving another human being the right to be who they are, even though you might not agree with them. But the other way around is almost you're taking away the right of a human being to think just because they're different than you and just because you don't like their opinion. You're like,
Right.
well, I'm not going to give my time to you to hear it. And you always have the right not to. There are a lot of people who have certain opinions, and I'm just not interested. So it's not that I make them wrong. I'm not interested to play that game. It's like
Right.
there is boxing. There is as a sport. There's boxing, and there's also figure skating.
Kickboxing is a kickboxing. They are boxing. The end of the like they are killing each other. And
Right.
lots of people, they like it and they, vote for it. Yeah.
Exactly. But if I don't like to go into the midst of the kickboxing or be
Hmm.
a part of it or even view it, it's okay. I just change the channel and see something else that I like to do that. Unless people are activists and they really want to do something about, for example, remember when for American football, they said that there's going to be a brain injury. So there were people who were scientifically going and looking at, okay, we're going to take a stand and shift policies in order, for the helmet or what they can do. So unless you are someone who's going to do something about taking a stand for some of these opinions, usually we have to be able to move forward. Even if we're going to take a stand for something, we still have to know where the other people who are opposite of us think, because we have to negotiate with them. So you cannot even take a stand on something. You cannot even act on something without taking the other sides into consideration respectfully. That's where then the negotiations begin in order to change something that might be happening around the world or around you that you actually don't like and want to do something about.
So, Dr. Zaini, how you connect between morality and respect?
Morality is based on value system.
Hmm.
Respect is one of the value systems. Morality is what we call the bigger umbrella of value systems, such as people choose value systems such as, okay, being love, peace, um, respect, honesty, being on integrity, not harming each other, being conscientious, not doing something bad and harmful to someone else. Those are concepts of morality where we look at we're in relationship with other human beings and how do we um, are conscientious and responsible and accountable about what we do in this relationship between us and others. So when you say, a person is the highest morality or a moral person, it means that they're upholding um, kind of value systems that upgrades humanity and the concept of betterment of human beings, which is not harming or killing or uh, stealing or in any format for it to be disrespectful or harming another human being. So we categorize it, but different people. I know most of the religions around the world put some value system and put it in the moral aspect. And then spiritual group puts some in the moral aspect. And just humanity does. Like we call humanity or being human as a value that upholds uh, goodness, right? And then somehow we say if people are killing each other, that's their animal instinct, as if humans are supposed to use their frontal cortex to be peaceful and to be kind to each other. That's not accurate. That's not real. But I think we assign those concepts to humanity. But if you look at the world, like
Hmm.
there's more killing that human beings are doing than any animals do to each other. But somehow we call that part of ourselves immoral and animalistic, and then we supposedly assign, love, peace to the human side.
Yeah,
It's a given.
amazing. Yes, exactly. What about be an honest person and a responsible person? This is a part of respect,
To
or
me,
I mean, if someone be responsible and honest, could be respectful to someone in a relationship or any relationship.
yes. And I want to say that actually that if you're being honest and responsible, I think you're being more than anything respectful to yourself. That
Mm,
when you are
exactly.
out of integrity and that you are lying, the one person that you're actually being disrespectful to is yourself. Because people are not dumb. They're not stupid. They get it that you lie. even if they don't catch that you lie at the first time, because they're being honorable and they're assigning an honorable person for you, they would say, like, oh, this person must be an honorable person. They're actually upholding you to a space where you're not being on integrity with. So when you lie, deceive, and are not responsible for your actions, you are actually disrespecting yourself because
Right.
you will be called out and you be the one who is going to feel shame or guilt or weasel out of it, and you're going to feel weak and you're going to feel powerless and all of the other pieces versus having the courage to be honest and on integrity and being responsible for what's going out of your mouth and actions. And that is how you would be held in not only to yourself, but also within your relationships and your community. You know, you will build a reputation as someone of integrity and responsible versus someone who's a liar and a cheater and you can't rely on, right? So you're the
Exactly.
one that is going to take the respect away from yourself because you thought you were going to pull one over people. Well, again, people are not stupid. They're going to catch on real quick.
What's the best response and what's the best way we can stop someone is not respectful to your kindness and you doing lots of good things to someone, but that person is not respectful and all the time, you know, the behavior shows you like a rude person and not a disrespectful person.
You say directly and you set the boundaries. You know, I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
disrespected. I don't want to be talked to in that way. I don't like the action that you just made. I don't think it's appropriate. I will not accept it. And if you like me to be your friend, your colleague, your mate, your whatever relationship, your customer, I mean, whatever relationship
Right.
you have, I require to be treated respect. I don't have control over your mouth or your behavior, but I certainly have control over mine by
Mm-hmm.
listening and me being in your presence. So if you like to have a relationship with me, if you like to have this interaction with me, then I really require for you to teach me this one. And you specifically say, you know, I like to hear this. This is the way I like to be treated. So, for example, in career or in relationships that you're not necessarily together all the time, you can state your boundary and exactly where the boundary lies. Also in your relationship, you know, in your intimate relationships, you can set the boundaries and say exactly how you like to be treated and what works for you to be um, intimate and close and loving to the other person.
Absolutely. So you mentioned about communication and set the boundary, but after this, uh, you set the boundary, but it's still that person, you know, who she or he don't want to change himself or she don't want to change herself. So uh, some doctors, some expert, they said, okay, do a mirror, behavior. I'm not agree with this, but what do you think?
I think if I see that something is wrong, there's no reason for me to do that behavior
Mm-hmm.
unless I actually I say it that I'm going to act this way in order for you to know. So you do something and I
L-
don't like it. So I'm going to,
let's go with the example. I'm
I
all
give,
the time late. I'm all the
yeah,
time late, and you communicate with me. You told me, and you said, about this. You already, talked to me different way, and finally, uh, is it right you be late in our, meeting, and then you want to show me? Is it good? What you feel? What do you feel? I'm late now.
okay. So first I will say to you, Amir, it really feels disrespectful for me when we have an appointment together and we say that this is the appointment and then you don't call me, you don't let me know, you don't communicate with me that something's going on, and then you just don't show up. Okay.
This is
So
a part of communication.
right. So I request from you,
Uh
I
huh.
request from you that if we set up an appointment together, for you to be respectful to that appointment, and for any reason if you couldn't make it, please let me know in advance, or so that you're not coming, or tell me at that moment so I'm not waiting for you.
And here
So
you set the boundaries.
right, and I set the request. So then you say sure, 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 and then next day you would be
Same
late
thing.
again. Right. So when we come back, I would say, Amir, can you share with me what you understood from me when you and I spoke? Because I got it that you agreed when we talked, and that was your promise. But maybe I misunderstood. So could you tell me what you got from that conversation? So I'm going to hold you responsible to what it is you heard.
Exactly.
Right? So
Right.
you might say, "What? Well, give me your excuse."
Yeah. Oh, it was traffic. So now I want to be on time. I was, assuming I want to be here 5 minutes earlier than that time, but it was traffic or red light or accident, something like that.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, you're saying that you had nothing to do with it, and although you intended to honor our agreement, the things beyond your control happened, and it got you late. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Mm, okay, but I want to be on time, but it happened.
It happens. Okay. Well, let's try this and see if we can bring it to the time. Now, um, does it work for you for us to set up another time which works best for us? So I'm still negotiating here.
Negotiating and give it different chance, different options.
Right, right. So, for example, you know what I'm going to do? Let's set up that you and I are going to meet at 6, okay? And if I don't hear from you, then I'm going to be here at 6:15 because I think you're going to make it here by 6:15, and I won't waste my time. So I'm giving you another negotiation piece, plus respecting myself in doing
I
that.
understand.
Now, if you're still late,
Mm-hmm.
consistent. I have a friend who she's always late. Like we go to restaurants and she's like 20 minutes late in the restaurant. We had these conversations and negotiations for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing changed. This was the way she was everywhere else, right? So then it's a choice. Do I
Right.
really want my friendship with this person? All right, don't take this as a disrespect. Don't give it any significance, although it's annoying. Don't give it any meaning. The value of this friendship is so much more to me that I'm just going to let go of this issue. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell her to come in at 7, and then I will call her and say I'm going to be there at 7:30 because she's going to be there at 7:30. So it's not like I'm going to give her the same medicine to punish her. I'm just going to adjust my time with her in that way. I will still be honorable and say, so and so, I'm coming at this time. And then I'll call and say, I'm coming at this time because are you there? Are you coming? So I'm going to match your time. But so I'm not going to, just kind of dismiss and give her the same medicine
And
of
be a
not calling her.
disconnect. And yes, exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It
So
was
is the person significant or not? It could be that the person you keep setting boundary, and the boundary you're setting is so important for you that it's a deal breaker. And if they're not willing to negotiate with you and create corrective actions, you might have to end that relationship. Because the lateness might not be an issue, but if you're in a financial bind together and they're being out of integrity, you may have to pay a high price. And that would be something that you would tell the person, like, when you're not being accountable and responsible and committed to what we're saying, I'm paying a high price and I don't want to pay a high price. Right?
right.
So you evaluate the consequence that I have to pay for your action. If the consequence is not that high in respect of what I gained from you and your friendship and all of that, it's okay. Like, we're different and that's fine. We try to negotiate on this thing, but I'll just accept your patterns and that's fine. But if I'm getting a high consequence, I'm paying the consequence, then I'm going to be more strict in saying to you, I'm sorry, if that pattern does not change, I cannot afford to pay such a high consequence because of your behavior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. So one of my friend always, he said, "Okay, all the time I'm late. If you want to see me at 7, tell me 6:30. I will be there 30 minutes late."
Right. That's a good negotiation. That's my dilemma. So, fool me. And you're like, sure, if that's the case, we'll fool you because you're asking for it. All right.
So, and now in 1 minute about respect.
I think I would really suggest for everyone who's viewing us, for them to define what respect means to them. And one way to define it is, how would they feel respectful? Like, how would they want other people to treat them? They would really, really feel respected and honored. And whatever that value system is for them, to remember it and give it back. Like, come from that place. Act from that place of respect. Now, respect has a different meaning to all of us. So, although you defined yours and the way you want to be treated, and you would call that respect, and you could act that way toward other people, when you are in relationship with others, I also suggest to ask others what is their definition of respect, right? So, for example, talking with profanity, for a lot of people, it's nonchalant. It's like, whatever. It's part of their, humor. It's part of the way they speak. They don't even think of it as disrespect. And then
Right.
suddenly people really see that as disrespect. And, you're being funny or you're saying something, and the people who are sitting, they're like, oh my God, so unprofessional. How could you say that? And it's more like, okay, even if it's fine with you, but you're socializing with people who those terminology or that particular behavior in their culture or in the way that they are set up or they were raised is disrespectful. If you want to hang out with these people, please honor them. I mean, that's part of the respect. Also know people's culture, what it is that it is important for them, and shift and kind of adapt your way of communication to be respectful to people around you. So you have one definition, they have one definition. Expand your definition. It's
Right.
okay. You're not going to lose out of this. You're going to be gaining beautiful people in your circle that way.
Amazing. As usual, I really enjoy, talking to you. Very profound and educational. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next time. Thank you.